Statement, or you just want to ask
I
questions?
just like when they get right to the questions.
Drew, your first home win as head coach. How does it feel?
Feels good. You always want to be able to secure wins at home, because that's your support. Those are the people who appreciate you, who show up for you, right? And you want to do well for them. You want to put on your best performance. You want to win. So, it was exciting for myself, the staff, our team to finally look up in the stands and not see everybody walking with their heads down, but clapping and cheering. So, it's important that you protect your home court and your home floor. So, we got some ways to go. We got a few games to make up for in that department.
A three-parter question. What's more satisfying? The fact you got your first win at home, your first win in the United States, or both?
Just both. I didn't even, until you brought it up, I didn't know I haven't won on U.S. soil yet. But just getting and securing the win. I said, man, I got a group of young men who I know work hard, but it's difficult. It's challenging to win. Everybody doesn't get to do it. Everyone doesn't get to experience it. But that doesn't mean you didn't show up. You didn't work hard. You weren't unselfish. You didn't give everything you got. But I think that's the coolest thing about getting wins at the end of the day, because I know the effort and energy that they pour in each and every day. So it's always something that you enjoy, and you get to see them celebrate after a win.
Coach, you guys, we talked about this on Tuesday with the offensive rebound departments, and you said you weren't as happy with it. You guys out-rebounded them on the offensive glass by 8. What changed, and were you happy to see that?
Absolutely. I think we have some incredible rebounders from different positions. And Max Edwards, Cam is doing an unbelievable job of. If he doesn't get the rebound, he's applying pressure by crashing to the boards. Jay Sean is his MO, right? If you followed his career, he's a good offensive rebounder. And then, Dave wasn't his normal self tonight. He was battling through some seemed like some cold issues, but he gave us what he had. And then Chobby's been doing an unbelievable job on the glass. So our outtake was, so far there's been a lot of misses on our side. So the least we can do is go chase after them. But we challenged the guys. We had 9 at halftime, and we could have been satisfied. We challenged them to get 10 more, and we wound up with 20. So.
You gave up 22 points in the first 8 minutes and then just 44 the rest of the way. What changed with the defense?
Attention to detail. I thought they got out and transitioned on us, even on makes. We weren't getting set. We weren't alert. We weren't aware. We just were giving up too many drives. Right? Too many. They were touching the paint, and I think that's a nationwide thing. If you let teams drive and touch the paint, it's just going to collapse your defense and make it challenging. So the moment we took responsibility and accountability for guarding one-on-one is when I felt the game shifted. And then we still had a few woes there completing the possessions, but when we manned the boards, the game swung in our favor.
And this team's played in spurts pretty well at times. You look at that St. Peter's game, you were up by 15 points. So did you sense maybe now that this was the time they were going to put it a little more together? I know you didn't have a crystal ball, but you're at practice every day. Did you see that after this last game, and did you maybe anticipate that this was going to be a game they might pull it together?
Well, we talked about it before or after the St. Peter's game. We showed an edit of just a possession here, possession there, from game one of, hey, we could have turned the tides if we do a little bit better here, pay attention to detail, if we sprint harder on this possession, if we go crash the boards, right? If we communicate better and not have a mistake. Because I believe since game one, our buildup has been steadily improving from a consistency level throughout the games. And to beat good teams, you got to play. You got to play good basketball. You need a 40-minute performance that's that's at a pretty high level. We hadn't done that early in the early parts of the season, but I do think we're trending and getting better at handling and managing runs throughout the game. So just got to commend our guys, honestly. You know, because in that moment, right, I can draw up some things, but I don't shoot the ball. I put a play in there now, but I didn't make the shot. So they have to step up in ways, right? They have that opportunity. So, you know, I think Trey Dinkins in the midst of a run hit 3 big threes, a baseline, and then 2 at the end of the game. So guys are stepping up and making plays, and the 2 hit 1 as well. So.
Drew, you mentioned Tuesday night how, you know, Cam there's more offensively there than what he showed. A lot more minutes for him tonight. How do you kind of assess what he was able to do with more of an opportunity?
Well, I told her I had a conversation with him. I said, it's about time you attack the basket and do it the right way. He's a really good finisher around the rim. Is part of the reason why we thought highly of him upon coming here. And he hadn't quite put it together. He was going past guys, but he was forgetting the ending. And I just tried to in a joking way, like, hey man, we've been waiting. It's time now. So, but I appreciate his mindset, right? I didn't play him early on. You know, I didn't find opportunities for him. Me and him, we had a discussion. We talked about it, and I've been able to insert him, and he's responded, right? You can ask a coach all you want. Hey, I can play, but you have to, when you get your opportunity, you got to prove it now. And he's done a great job of with the minutes and opportunities that he's had, he's made the most of them. I know in the St. Pete's game, when he was in the lineup for those stretches, that's when the lead ballooned. And he did another great job tonight as well.
Coach, no Jake tonight for the second straight game. How has the offense adjusted to not having him in the lineup, and what can you say about his timeline?
Not much on the timeline. You know, it's a waiting period type thing. So, but he's working his way back to get healthy. But it'll take some time. But I think you know, still relying on Max. I think Max did a great job tonight with his patience. He didn't settle, right? He had great patience, even if he didn't get the shot, of just trying to get to the paint. And he told me he said, Coach, I'm going to attack the basket tonight. And I thought he did a great job, as well as rebounding the ball. 6 rebounds from him. And it's really how Cam has stepped up, I believe, right? He's bringing some of those intangibles, attacking the glass. He's good defensively. Very, very rangy defender, so he can guard a lot of positions, and he's good at contesting. Now it's, hey, can you bring your offensive game along? And I think he did that. He showed that today. This is one of his best outputs.
Coach, you guys scored off turnovers at a pretty good rate tonight, especially in the first half. You had 8 points off turnovers. Can you talk about the fast break play and just how important it is to take advantage of those mistakes?
You got to, right? The team makes a mistake. High-level teams, you make a mistake, you punish the mistake, right? That's how it goes. We want to be one of those teams. So I thought early throughout the season we were mismanaging our fast breaks, too many turnovers. And the other factor is not completing possession and getting out in transition enough. But we've stressed it in practice, our transition, and I think guys they're progressing in that area. They're continuing to improve. It's a huge part of our game. When we get those defensive stops, we want to run, right? It's their freedom. I told them I'm out the way. When you guys get stops, you don't have to worry about me. It's your game. It becomes their game, and that's where they can create and make plays. So I try to stay out the way in transition.
What about Eli? Is he hurt?
No, Eli's back healthy. I think this was a tough game for all of our fives. If you look at the matchup with Camden on the floor and them going small at times, it's just difficult. You know, I was ready to play him, but the matchups I didn't think allowed it. It forced my hand to go small, put Jakob at the 5, put Jay-Sean at the 4. At one point, I was even going to put Jay-Sean at the 5 and figure out how to survive You know, if Jakob needed a breather or whatever the case was. I think we stole some minutes there with Chabi and then playing big, and I think they made the adjustment first to go to a smaller lineup, and having our fives cover in down screens and flare actions, and a guy who's constantly in ball screens and driving the ball, that's a difficult task when my fives are more rim protectors. Eli, big rim protector, Chabi, rim protector. The one that was capable but was under the weather a little bit was Dave, and you could tell he just didn't have it. He kept saying, "Coach, my chest is hurting." So he was 2 minutes at a time, but it was just a challenge. You know, lineups sometimes dictate what you can do.
You talked about Cam not playing a little bit in the beginning of the season, Eli not playing tonight much. You've got all these guys on your team who have played a lot at other schools. How have they adjusted to you, I guess, experimenting with lineups so far this season?
You know, you have to commend them. I know I do, because look, they all want to play, right? They didn't come here to not play, and I want to play. You know what I mean? I don't like. I'm not gonna feel great that I didn't get Eli in here and didn't give him an opportunity, because in his head, you're like, hey, I can guard that position. I can do that. You know, that's and I respect the hell out of that, right? I respect the hell out of that. Why should he believe he can't take on that challenge? But it is a challenge. But we've talked about it from day one, about our depth, about being unselfish, and you know, we're here to be the best team that we possibly can be, and that's going to take everybody.
You guys were in this same spot last year when you were an assistant coach. We started off poorly in conference play, and this time it's different with non-conference play. I asked Kareem about it, but how are you guys gonna take what you learned last year and kind of build on the momentum of getting a win here?
Yeah, you know, I don't harp on last year too much. You know, we've been in the situation. I'm just trying to create a new situation, but you do learn from experiences, right? You should learn from experiences. We have to, number one, we have to be resilient, and we have to keep the main thing, right? And that's improvement, right? Even after tonight's win, we got to fix some things that we did wrong. And we have to be positive, but we have to be disciplined and strict in it too, right? We have to hold each other to a high standard. And that comes after a win or a loss. So I think those are some things that we learned through our struggles last year. I would say during that streak, our accountability took a huge jump, and that was big for that group last year. To take ownership of what they were doing wrong and what they needed to do and get better, I thought was a big factor.
Thank you, Coach.